All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sounds of the Hardwood podcast. In today's episode, we'll be going over CBS's top 10 under 25 list that they released 2 weeks ago, and then also doing our fantasy NBA draft. Sorry for the delay, but a little late, trying to figure out the draft order. Everybody's very competitive about having a top pick. I mean, I don't got a great pick, but I'm going to figure out the best of it. Worst case, I'll trade. But before we get into our draft, I figured we started off with that CBS top 10 under 25 list. Mm-hmm. And, whether or not you agree or disagree on those top 10 players. All right. So, number one, they put Luka Doncic, who is age 22, and he's the franchise centerpiece of the Dallas Mavericks. So, what are y'all guys' thoughts on that?
Forward. There's no.
I mean, is there really any disagreement on Luka?
There is none.
No, hell no.
Look, I figured I'd ask. I ain't gonna be biased. I figured I'd open the floor for somebody.
It's not that
fair.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have one.
I think Luka's pretty much.
I think it's clear cut across the board.
Like across the board, yeah, and make it easy for everybody.
Two thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
When you get to the next one is where it gets controversial.
2 thumbs up.
Talk to him, Pete. Talk to him, Pete.
I'm
fine with number one, but we're going to talk about number two in a second.
Get to number 2 yet. But for those that don't know, Pete is a 76ers fan that currently resides in Atlanta, but he's not on the Ice Trae fan wave at all.
Not that high. I mean, I like Trae Young, but not at 2.
So number 2 is Trae Young, aka Ice Trae. 23 years old. So who wants to be the first to say that they disagree with that choice at number 2?
Me. No. So you got Trae Young, who didn't make the All-Star game last year, above Jason Tatum, who made the All-Star game? How does that make sense? Or the upside of Zion?
Devin Booker.
I mean,
I guess it's the
how do
run.
you? Okay, you played a playoff run against no offense to the Knicks fans on the podcast, but you played the Knicks, who didn't do that great. You played a Sixers team who their second best player didn't want to shoot the ball.
Now shoot, can't shoot.
I think he's capable if he really wanted to. He just doesn't. It's more a mental block of that and defiance. It's a mixture. I think it's 50-50 of like, I'm going to prove that, I can't, or I, don't have to shoot to be effective. And he sabotages himself. But look at Trae Young. Everybody says, oh, he's this terrific shooter. Well, he's only 34% on his career. He has that nice little floater. But what's going to happen this year when the rules change where he can't stutter step into slowing down to draw a foul from behind and then get to the free throw line? That's going to cut his points down, from, over 25 points, probably around 23-ish, 24. Then you got to think of other guys on the team that are going to have the ball. Cam Reddish is emerging. Kevin Huerter had a good playoff run. John Collins just got paid. So you got guys on the team that are going to want the ball.
Overpaid.
So I don't see how you have Trae Young that high. Not that he shouldn't be in the top 5, just not number 2.
Yeah, I didn't really like him.
Side note, I don't think John Collins is overpaid. I think he's getting paid for his potential because he is legit. Side note.
Yeah, David, what were you gonna say, man?
I was gonna. I guess I'm gonna be the only one who says it. That is the correct rank.
Oh wow.
He is definitely number 2.
Whose man's? What does Trae Young do?
Someone, yeah. Please explain that, David.
That's what you're gonna like about
David. Please
explain
to me why Tatum shouldn't be number 2.
He gets a fresh take.
Devin Booker too.
I don't think Tatum should be number 2, but
Tatum should definitely be number 2. Okay, so you explain to me why.
Let David go first.
First, I want to say that wow, my mic just keeps muting itself.
Yeah, he's having problems with his mic. David, do you have computer mic without the headset?
No. Ooh, I might actually. Hold on. Move on to somebody else, and then I'll come.
I'll
so
go.
Go ahead, Henry.
Yeah, I'll go.
Talk your blasphemy, bro. It's crazy.
No,
I want to hear this.
I was just gonna say that the number 2 honestly should have been the person that always gets underrated and not enough love is Devin Booker.
Okay. Devin Booker at number 2. He's not even better than Zach LaVine. Like they do the same thing.
Well, I don't even think LaVine made this list.
The only reason, the only I guess argument you could have for him being ranked over is because he went to the finals.
I think
which just happened.
Well, that also because he always gets snubbed on All-Star teams, and he has really.
That's not Tatum's fault.
It's a recent list, so it's going based upon last year.
Yeah,
so if you're going based upon last year, then they're going to give the nod to Trae Young because he basically carried that Atlanta team.
Yes.
So
the New York series was lit. That could have gone either way. Even Knicks fans know. But
now he killed the Knicks.
For them to beat Philly which is why I think they ranked them so high, is because for him to take that team and beat Philly when one of their key players was injured.
Hold on.
They had no business beating Philly.
Yeah,
Atlanta didn't beat Philly. Matisse Thybulle sabotaged his own team with the late foul. Let's get that straight real quick.
He came out and said that. He did come out and say that and said that I didn't get any heat for the stupid foul I committed. So all the heat went to
way to be a man about it.
For me, I had Booker at 2, but I had Tatum right there at 3. It was basically, honestly, if I could really do the list, it'd be 2A and 2B. If I could really do it, because I
cop out, make a decision.
Wait, is it because of Booker just making it to the finals?
Not even that, just because he gets snubbed. But like they have on the list, they have Zion ranked higher than somebody like a Jaylen Brown and a Bam Adebayo, which I would definitely move Bam Adebayo up, obviously, because he's solid too. But for me, the final thing, obviously Trae Young is up there, like Pete said, in the top 5. I do think it's a little bit of a reach for him to be obviously 2, and I think it's also not that good that Devin Booker is rated so low as well. But for me, like I said, 2, and I feel like Jason Tatum's right there behind him.
To be honest,
the success that Tatum has had at such a young age though was crazy, and that's why he's ranked where he's ranked. But I honestly think that's why he should be number 2, is because I feel like people are taking his success for granted. Damn, look what he did. Conference finals 3 out of 5 years, and 3 straight years as a young player. And it's not like he was afraid of the moment. He embraced the moment. Granted, this was Booker's first playoff appearance. He did great, but he also had a leadership of Chris Paul. Meanwhile, they handed Tatum the keys. They had no choice due to
everybody getting hurt that year.
Hurt and Kyrie not want to be there no more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But Kyrie had a good relationship with Tatum. Duke Bros, whatever. So I don't think they really had a problem in general, even when Kyrie was there. His stats go up every year. Even with the COVID season and him catching COVID, he still dominated. He gave Brooklyn, arguably a team who should have been in the finals. We're gonna talk about that, I guess. A 50 clip. He did what he could. He got one win, but that's all he could do. What he was dealt with. We could all say that Boston playoff team should have got swept.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, defend your own.
It's
countdown.
In fairness, Jaylen Brown wasn't
4 minutes. 4 minutes to the draft.
Exactly. So exactly. In fairness, but even with Jaylen Brown there, Tatum still was gonna have to do that, then some, because weak guard play. Kyrie was getting whatever the hell he wanted. Harden was getting whatever the hell he wanted. They folded after the Boston series, but they were all there and all, playing full of their capabilities that series, which kind of pissed me off, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And when you got people like KD, who I feel like everybody should respect his opinion because he's top or top 2 players in the league, right? Saying, nah, Tatum's arrived. Why is he not number 2? He's super young still, bro. He has so much more growing to do, but the fact that he's where he is now is just crazy.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like he should be number 2 over Trae Young.
I'm in Trae the same age.
I'm here.
Can you guys hear me? Is it working now?
Yeah, we hear you. I gotta hear your reasoning.
So, if this list was done before the playoffs, Trae Young isn't sniffing the top 3. But you have to take the playoffs into account, and what Trae Young was able to do on the biggest stage is going to matter. I get it. It's the Knicks. The Knicks finally had one good year for the first time in what feels like my lifetime, at the very least.
I forget.
But-
David likes to go.
We'll
in
block this man.
Side note, Henry, I was at the MSG SmackDown where Trae Young appeared. That was magnificent. But anyway.
Did you boo him?
I saw that.
Yes or no?
Absolutely not. I was cheering.
Get him up out of here.
I shouted, tag in Trae Young so he could get another win at MSG.
That's crazy. I don't like you. I don't know who you are. I don't like you.
I got a few stares for that one. And I'm sure Henry knows that's completely in character.
Oh, someone threw a beer at you too while you're at it. That's some popcorn.
But
Oh yeah, just for y'all that don't know, David's also a huge wrestling fan. He knows his ins and outs of that too.
Trae Young, though, as a player, has improved year to year, and especially last year, he got rid of some of his bad habits, especially with shooting the three, and he's able to just take over games, even more so than Tatum, at least in my opinion. Just watching Trae Young play, I truly believe that if we were picking for this upcoming season, I think Trae Young's going to have a better season than Jason Tatum, and that's not to say that Jason Tatum's going to be bad. I'm not saying that at all. But Trae Young is going to have a better season, and I think Tatum's earlier years are going to be better, but overall, we're going to look at it in 5 or 6 years and say, wow, Trae Young is one of the top 6 or 7 players in the league. I have a lot of faith in Trae Young.
Trey's numbers went down
I
last
agree with
year.
that.
Trey's number. Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
I was gonna say his numbers went down last year. He shot worse from three. His effective field goal percentage was worse. His assists were around the same, and he still averaged 4 turnovers a game. So
He's
it's like
taking better shots, though. That's the thing. That
his
I'm
shot
not saying-
selection is better, but he also had the referees bail him out. So will that work this year with the referee changes?
45-second countdown. Pete, for your
I
first
don't
pick.
think we can take
Tatum
that
gets no
yet.
calls, just for the record.
You
I
heard
don't
me,
think we
Pete?
can
45
judge-
seconds.
Real ones know. He gets no calls, bro. He gets no calls. It's crazy, but
I would say it's not fair to say that Trae Young will be worse because of the officiating changes, because we truly don't know what's going to happen. So we
Fair.
can only judge based on what we know so far, and what we know is that his shot selection has gotten better. And to be
Yeah.
honest, with his shot selection being better, I know that the shots didn't fall before, but they're eventually, with his talent, going to start falling.
All right.
Maybe.
5 seconds, Pete. Your pick's
You
coming
got 5
up.
seconds to your
Okay.
first pick.
And
Yeah.
here we go. 2,
I'm gonna
1,
share the screen
and
now.
away we
Whoa.
go.
Pete with the first overall pick.
also with that, I'll put it this way, David. I get what you're saying, but it's like
Give me Luka.
if you put Tatum and Boston in the same position that
There we go.
in the same number, power ranking or whatever ranking that Atlanta was in, you don't think Tatum takes Boston that far too with the team they had? I think Tatum does.
I'm not
Wow.
entirely sure.
Dang, you're gonna let the
Look, I
clock
think
run?
No.
Oh god.
Wow, that got me a bit quicker than I thought.
So I'm at another side note. It was no contest that Ant was going to take Kevin Durant. There's no debate on that.
No debate.
Because I guarantee you, if someone took KD first, Ant's going to quit.
No. I talked to Soto earlier, and I had some backups just in case people did pick KD. But honestly, out of all the people that's in this draft, I didn't see anybody picking KD before.
So who was
because everybody's
Jared
picking
gonna pick?
different.
I just need to know.
No, just
He
pick
didn't
normally.
even say just pick normally. Jared was more mad that it wasn't a point system, so I'm pretty sure he's happy now that it's a point system. That's what he was worried about.
We'll just pick. Now the third. Obviously, we already had that conversation. The third player that they put was Jason Tatum. We've already had our conversation on who should be the third, who should have been the second, based upon how they had it listed, Tatum or Young.
Oh.
So at the fourth spot, they put Zion Williamson, 21 years old, forward at. Pelicans.
Kevin Booker.
I draft him. I drop him lower, way lower than that.
All right, so Henry, if you drop him, who you putting at that spot?
Well, since I moved Booker, let me pull up the list real quick. I'd probably move up Jaylen Brown, honestly.
Okay, I think who was Jaylen Brown on the list? He's
think
fifth.
He's fifth, so yeah, I move up Jaylen.
Yeah, he was fifth, I think.
So are you flip flopping Zion down to fifth or lower?
I'm flipping Zion lower.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, Zion scares me. I don't even know if he plays
He's
this year.
just outside the top 5. I think he's
I
at
would put.
6.
I just can't put him that high. He's so injury prone.
I can't
and
put him
now
that high. I would put him in
So,
Bam's spot, honestly.
if he can stay okay,
Right.
right. Last year he averaged I think it was like 25 points, shooting like 50-something% from the field.
Keep your pick, by the
So
way.
okay, so when he's healthy,
Karl Anthony Towns, good pick.
I didn't want to pick him, but I'll take it. When he's healthy, he's a top player in the league when he's healthy, and because we haven't seen somebody that dominant physically in a game in a long time.
Got Bradley
I
Beal.
think Brown gets overshadowed because he plays with Tatum. I think it's one of this like Tatum and Brown have kind of like the Curry, Klay Thompson thing where it's like we
Correct.
give Tatum the recognition, but we don't really look at Brown similar way like we give Curry his recognition, but we don't really look at Thompson like he's a elite level player in the NBA. So I feel like as long as the two of them are together, Tatum and Brown, we're always going to have that thing where people are going to look over Brown because of who he plays alongside of.
Agree. I think Zion you got to look at too because you got the alpha male thing with Brandon Ingram wanting to be the man as well. I think with New Orleans, what Stan Van Gundy did do well last year was he said, "All right, we're taking Lonzo off the ball and putting the ball in Zion's hands," and that got him more effective because it didn't force him to shoot threes, and he still was able to finish at the rim considerably well. Going into this season, it's worrisome for me because nobody, even the top beat writers for the Pelicans, knew. Speaking of Zion, I'm taking Zion. Nobody knew that he had broke his foot. Like all summer, not one person knew.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. When I heard that, when I saw that, I think he broke he fractured his foot in something else, right?
You come to realize that a lot of things that happen with Zion, no one talks about. And that's kind of I don't know if that's a scary thing or a smart thing, but no one knows what's going on with Zion.
I know what's going on. He don't want to play for that damn team.
Well, all he wanted was Lonzo back, and they didn't even do that, right? They got let him walk. You could have traded him.
Oh man, look at Pete. He drafted Ice Tray.
Hey, I'm gonna take the best available right there. Like it just happened to be. I told you if Trey fell, if he fell further down, I'm gonna take him.
He's a believer. He got the jersey in the closet. He just don't want to claim it.
Nah, never. No Hawks jerseys for me.
Oh, he got the.
I respect that.
The French Tower. Okay.
So,
Rudy Gobert, Jimmy Butler. Oh, some good picks.
Zion, I think, is a little. To answer the question, Zion's a little bit high on the list just because
I don't know if Zion plays this year.
Damn, someone said Jimmy. Tragic.
Yeah. I think he could play, but I just think that they're going to be cautious like they always have been, where it's like, all right, you're on a minutes limit and things like that.
Remember, this is the same injury that kept Ben Simmons out for the year.
I'm gonna grab him.
Yeah, you're right.
So this is category, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Categories. So we got Russell Westbrook. I got Devin Booker. You got Jimmy, Gobert, Ice Tray, Zion, De'Aaron Fox, AD. I got some good picks out here.
De'Aaron Fox is about the ball this year again.
Jared on the. Oh, Jared got.
Hold on, Soto didn't call him De'Aaron Fox. Soto called him DeAndre.
DeAndre, yeah, that's the new government. It's DeAndre.
I mean, I've forgotten his name.
Crazy.
You gotta get it right. I want Levine.
Oh, Levine. Levine's a good pick. Oh, I had a feeling that was coming. Bam Adebayo. That's a good pick.
Let's go. Ben Simmons is dropping.
Let's see.
Man, they got Ben Simmons listed strictly as a point guard. That's sad.
Yeah, but
if you played power forward, he'd be so much better.
Yeah, I know. At least give him that. Like, give him the option.
For me, drafting Ben Simmons is more of a risk because nobody knows what's going to happen with him right now if he's going to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of which, Pieces, the resident Sixers fan, how do you feel about the situation?
I mean, I think they need to go ahead and try to make a deal, but you can't just make a panic move at the same time. Like, I'm not taking like a deal like I saw where Henry said that I guess Shams had tweeted something and then like deleted it where like it was so much value going to Portland
It's
Mhm.
awful.
And
It was one of the most awful deals I've ever seen.
It was like
Guys, I'm
Thibault,
gambling my season. I'm gambling the
Curry
league
and a
right
bunch
now.
of
I respect
stuff.
it. Go Bears.
It
Go
was
home.
bad.
That's
I
I'm
mean,
really
gambling
but
right
you-
now.
If you're Philly, though,
41
you
games
can't
this
hold
season.
out for Lillard either. Like it's not going to happen. Oh, I'm up. I didn't even realize my fault.
Well, here's the thing. If you were to go,
Yeah.
so if you were, I wouldn't call it a panic. If you were to pick the team that they said, so Cleveland is dying to get him. I don't know who wants to go to Cleveland.
Yeah, but why
But-
would you want if you're Philly? Why would you want a package with Colin Sexton? Like that's not going to. Colin Sexton's not going to pass the ball to Joel Embiid.
No.
He's going to shut
So
up 40.
it's not
yeah.
gonna. Yeah, it's not going to do you any good. So like at the
Would
end of
you
the
get?
day,
Would
like
you go after Garland? I don't know, Garland and Kevin Love and like 2 picks.
I wouldn't want Kevin Love at all. Like you would have to give me 4 first rounders,
Kevin
Garland, like
and they pretty much said
and-
Garland's untouchable in trade. So I mean,
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not gonna. There's
gonna
no
move
way
it.
it happens.
Everybody's available for. That's the thing. Like
They want to
Cleveland,
move.
everybody's
they wanna move
available.
Sexton. That's why they don't. They like
Oh,
Garland.
man.
They want to move Sexton.
So if you want to go with, so if not Cleveland, which
I'm gonna
who
take-
wants to go to Cleveland, would you do a swap with John Wall and like they did with John Wall?
No.
and Westbrook?
I don't want John
No,
Wall
no,
either because
no.
Wall looked so bad last year efficiently. And he claimed he was like 100% healthy coming out of camp. And I'm like, you look this bad, you can't even shoot the 3. You have no athletic burst. Like
Exactly.
it's just not gonna like
But
nothing
he was
that's
still
out
25
there.
and 5, like 20 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. So
Well, I just drafted by accident. That's cool. I was clicking Q and it put me on the clock.
oh yeah, last couple picks have been
Oh,
Kyrie,
I need
McCollum, Michael Porter.
more
Oh, you got John Morant. That's who got John Morant. Damn
I
it.
gotta
Yeah.
I
gotta shut that's my. And even then with Ben Simmons, like, how about the idea of going to Portland? If you were to swap Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum, would you make that deal?
I would make it, but
So you took
Portland
Jalen
doesn't have enough picks to
I
get
did.
back.
I needed
That's
some
the
more
thing.
forward.
So you'd have to have a third team involved to get the same thing with Minnesota. Like Minnesota doesn't have enough assets, so you got to get a third
Let me
team.
see. Let me see if I have.
No
the
one
picks.
Because
wants to go to Minnesota
I don't
either.
want D'Angelo Russell because Russell can't even get by people as is. So you're basically saying, okay, we're going to trade Ben Simmons, who doesn't want to shoot, that
All right.
does have athletic burst to get past people that can defend. We're going to trade him for D'Angelo Russell, a guy that can't defend and a guy that takes questionable shots. That has to be in an offense that fits him. Like, so that any of these deals right there, like, don't work. And how do you play if you're trading with Portland? How do you play McCollum, who's used to playing off the ball more?
with
How
the
do you
ball.
say, okay, all of a sudden now you're going to either you or Seth Curry are going to be the point guard? That's going to be a horrible defensive backcourt.
Yeah.
Like, so you're
So-
kind of giving up like your defense for a better offense, which, I mean, if Embiid can stay healthy, like you're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to have to be
All right.
like a borderline star, another young player, and like 2 or 3 picks, and that's what Philly's going to have to settle on.
Well, I got the trade
Also-
here. I'll pull it up and then we could go back into the top 10 list.
Top
But the
10
trade
list.
was Philadelphia, Portland. He said a couple days ago they were close on the deal that would have sent Ben Simmons, Thibault, and Curry to Portland for CJ McCollum, Covington, Little, and 2 future unprotected first round picks.
That's not horrible. That's not great, but it's not.
I'm not
horrible.
giving up the defensive prowess of Simmons and
That's too
Thibault
much. Yeah, that's
to
too
get-
much. Though.
to get back Robert Covington. That the
Yeah.
first time he was a Sixer couldn't hit a wide open 3. Like, no
That's
thanks.
too much.
But he can
Right.
now.
I took a
We
sixer
can
in
make
the
his shots
draft,
now.
Yeah, nah, I'll pass.
I took Tobias in the draft, so I took a sixer one time for Pete.
There you go. Ben Simmons is still sitting there.
Nah, I don't want Ben here. You can have Ben.
I don't want that. I don't want that on my team. Who took Draymond?
The undisputed
guilty.
era.
You freaking
Yeah, I
bad.
was
I
gonna say
got-
that's.
I got
I was gonna say
somebody
that sounds like
I
a
can get
Soto
him.
pick. That definitely is a Soto pick.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so
Hmm.
diving back into the list real quick because we only have 4 players left, but y'all basically covered
I'm gonna go
pretty
spicy
much
P.
back and back. You might be on the move though. I have to put that out there. Toronto may be entertaining trades for Pascal Siakam.
That's
Sixth,
stupid.
they put Devin Booker.
Yeah,
That's
Devin
6th on
Booker,
that top
baby.
10 list.
For my
I don't know. This is his 4th year averaging over 25 a game. He's like in the 4-year stretch, he's 25, 4 and 6, 25, 5 and 6, something like that. So that's why I think it should be higher.
I'd probably put somebody like a Jamal Murray or somebody else up there. Like I said,
That's
Over Booker?
Over Booker?
no Booker. Remember, Booker for me was ranked higher.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I think
remember
Booker's
that.
okay where he is.
I would.
I think he should
I
have
mean,
been 4, to be
depends.
honest.
I could like if you're saying to me, if you're doing obviously it's top 25.
I think
I have-
Zion and
I
Josh
could
should be
put
9
Devin
and
Booker-
10 just because of the non-playoff experience and everything like
I would
that.
put Devin
Well,
Booker.
this
as a
is
top
by
three.
talent, not by success. Like
I would
you
put
got-
Devin Booker as a top
that's the
three
weird
over
part.
25.
So you
know.
said top 3
Yeah.
for Booker? Okay. I mean,
Because
that's
of the
fair.
fact that he's
I'm with that.
Because he's a franchise centerpiece. He's in a Western Conference, which most of us can agree is the tougher conference.
And probably
usually
the hardest
between the
division
two.
in the
And
league.
he's in a hard
Here,
division.
I'll do it just to get him off the board.
So, only thing that's really was stopping him from really making the playoffs more often is the management for the Phoenix Suns until recent years has been terrible. So they weren't doing a good job of building a team around him. But now that they're
Shout out
doing
to
a better
Monty.
job of building a team around him,
Yep.
I think we'll see him really turned into the player that Phoenix thinks he's supposed to be, which is a superstar, the second coming of Kobe, as he once said, with him and DeAndre Ayton becoming the new Kobe and Shaq. Which
Kobe co-signed that, so that holds water.
which they looked like this year. So
Yeah.
that's why
I think
say
what
he's
helped
three.
Phoenix too, they got obviously Chris Paul and everything he brings, but they got Devin Booker back off the ball because I think Devin Booker being on the ball, just so much of the workload, scoring and having to facilitate, just wasn't
Well,
a good mix for him.
The numbers were up. It just wasn't. His turnovers were high. That was the big
Mhm.
difference. They were cut in
Right.
half when Chris Paul got there.
He was a
Right.
monster in the bubble, though. Don't forget about that too.
Well, he
Even
didn't have Kendall Jenner to
Mm.
worry about.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
Maybe that's
Let's
why
not
Ben
start the
Simmons is black.
Kardashian Jenner streak. Jinx thing. Don't do that. That's not even necessary.
You know,
Mhm. Now the next player they had 7th was Jamal Murray. I had to check real fast. I got it.
That injury's tough.
injuries are tough. Yeah.
True.
I mean, I think that's fair for him because he was lighting it up until he got hurt.
Mhm.
I'd probably move if I could do that. Like I said, I had Murray a little bit higher on mine. I'd probably move SGA up. I think he's been
He's another one. Well, he
He's
got
been-
hurt, so they
he's
didn't show
been-
him much.
he's
But
been improving though every year in the league, and even though he's on one of the worst teams in the league, unfortunately, because the Thunder just
brother got
have-
paid.
I'm gonna
they
check
have-
out Atlanta Hawks.
they have about 100 draft picks until next century. I mean, I don't know. Like I feel bad for him that he's going to be stuck on that team for a while.
I'm not. He decided a super max extension. He's okay. He knows
Yeah,
what
he's
doing.
good. Yeah, he's all right.
I mean, I'm
He
not
knows
going to
what
say
he's
that
doing.
the Thunder can't build a team. They can, but
They have 1,000 more picks. You throw 4 picks, somebody get somebody, they're good to go.
I'll try to
Yeah.
You
check
get
it
3
out.
picks, 4 picks for Ben Simmons, and whoever is upset, and you get a big 3.
Another year
Something
year of
different.
tanking, and then I think they really go all in on kind of building.
Yeah.
They figure out like they use this year of like, all right, what are 3 or 4 guys that we have that are the core guys, and then all right, now we need to use the rest of the assets and trade.
They like what's his name?
there's been a lot of good picks by the way in the draft. Yeah, Dort is good.
Yeah, that's the two. Them two.
Who's drafting Andrew Wiggins?
I don't know who else.
Wiggins controversy. I'm serious. I'm curious to see who's going to draft him.
And who's the big man they had? Is it Moses Brown?
He got traded.
He got
Yeah,
traded.
he's on Dallas. Yeah, he's on Dallas.
That's a good player right there.
So I have to check their roster, and then
Really, if you think
I mean,
Shea
they
high
got
upside,
Pokashevsky, Baisley, who like they like.
Their business nice too.
and I just Giddy is
Oh
the
man,
other
this
star.
is tough.
That's the other person that they try to
your
build.
boy's
Yeah.
up there still. Colin Sexton.
That's the greatest defender in the league.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year next year.
I gotta get some bigs in here. Like, let's see.
I just drafted Miles Turner, so
Yo, and our boys on the board.
There's nothing left that I like.
And then
Ah.
me 6th. I mean, I can see Jamal Murray in that 6th. I mean,
I
excuse me,
don't
7th,
like.
7th, 6th. I can
Is
see
he
Jamal
better
Murray
than
at
De'Aaron
7th.
Fox?
And Jamal Murray.
De'Aaron Fox got snubbed on that list.
I mean, See, De'Aaron,
When it comes for talent, I don't care about
Is
the success of the team or the player. Like
in the
talent perspective,
in
is
the
he
words
better
of-
than Fox?
in the words of Soto, DeAndre Fox is a different breed. So,
He is.
I mean,
but
Is Murray
Fox
better
is-
than Morant?
I don't think Murray's better than Morant. No, I would have put
No.
Ja Morant over Jamal Murray. I think what
no.
Ja Morant does. I think Ja Morant does more on the basketball court than Jamal Murray. I'm not taking
Agree
anything from
there.
his scoring. He's an elite level scorer.
Got to get my
But
Nick boy, RJ
Ja
Barrett.
Morant's ability, I think he's a Russell
You
Westbrook
went that
type of
high
guy
for me?
that can get a triple double,
I'm not
because of his
touching. I'm not
ability to
touching Colin
rebound as a
Sexton.
point.
No chance in hell.
assist, and score.
OG.
Only reason I drafted him at that high is because RJ Barrett's improving in all his statistical categories, so might be a good pick. Might be
Oh, this is tough.
whatever.
I mean, you would have had him in like
I was thinking Barrett next pick, so that's
Round
good
11.
pick, in my opinion.
I'm gonna take Jaren Jackson. I'm gonna take Ja Morant's partner in crime.
Have fun
If
with
he's
have fun with the
healthy-
injury. Have fun with the injury prone.
Well, he's healthy at the moment.
No, when he's healthy, he's
healthy right
he's
now.
got a chance to be.
He's a beast. No, I heard he wants out too. That's another one that's been saying he wants to get out of Memphis.
He's about to get extended too because Doc's
I
told him to
don't see
extend
him.
him.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving.
If they don't
You gotta,
win,
you gotta
if they
get
don't
set
win,
there.
yes.
I mean, there's a lot. It ain't like there's a whole lot of teams he can get traded to where he gonna start winning. So
Oh, with the first rookie,
you have to
second
stay
rookie.
there.
Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green. Okay.
And
Yeah,
Jalen
I
Suggs
take-
went before Green.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah,
that,
I took
Yeah.
Suggs. I took Suggs because
He
he's
took
my
Suggs.
rookie of the year. Because who else is going to score for Orlando?
I love Jalen
So you're
Suggs,
going-
but I
you're
think
going
Jalen
disrespect.
Green's going to be
Yeah,
calling it now. Jalen Green is going to be around as good as Donovan Mitchell fantasy wise.
well, he gonna have the green
Wow.
light to do whatever he wants on that team. That Rocket
Yeah.
team gonna be so bad. He gonna have the green light. Only reason
and
why
he's friends with Kevin Porter, which Porter's going to play the point guard. So like that, I could see that.
I heard about that too. That'd be
I didn't go
interesting.
with Suggs. I don't want to disrespect B's man Cole Anthony over there.
Cole.
Cole's
I know.
a scoring guard though.
Yeah, I know
He's
If
not
that.
you
a
want
point
fantasy,
guard.
he fits what if you want. You want either a scoring guard as a utility. That's a good pickup if he gets the run this year because Fultz is back.
Fultz is
That's-
going to be out a little while. So is Isaac though.
All right,
That's true too. Oh yeah, that's right. Fred's the ACL. He hasn't hit the floor yet.
Right.
Mhm.
But
That's why-
go
that's why I
ahead and
took
grab him,
Suggs,
Henry. He's right there. He's staring at you.
No, I'm good.
I'm running out of this with a pick.
Colin Sexton.
Nope.
Who's taking Colin Sexton?
I would
No.
take Colin
It's
Sexton if I
funny
wanted
you
to.
should say that.
Oh,
Colin
I got-
Sexton.
Good
Yeah,
pick.
I got Norman
Funny
Powell.
you should say who's taking Colin Sexton because
he's still going to average 24 because there's. I mean,
He's gonna put up his
24,
points.
2 and 2.
He's gonna put up
yeah,
his points.
exactly. Yeah, you're right.
So when it
Don't
comes to
do that.
fantasy, he is an excellent choice when it comes to fantasy picks. As to running a team, Stephon Marbury, who's the point guard in China. at some
24,
point.
24 2
Well,
and
luckily
2.
I'm not worried about a real team. I'm worried about fantasy, right?
Exactly. You think it's
I need
smart?
rebounding.
Yeah, that's a mess.
I think I'll be fine on the rebounding with Jokic, Ayton,
Pete.
Davis.
Hey, I had to take one of your Spurs.
I was
Gotta
thinking
give
about
the
taking
Spurs some
Deontay
love.
Murray
He
for a
was in the
minute.
queue.
I was thinking about taking Deontay Murray for a minute, and I just didn't take him.
Man, I don't know who to take
Well,
with this
you know,
one.
you know what they say about the queue if you weren't fast enough.
Damn. Man, I'm just gonna take somebody
He's
random.
struggling out here. Who do you intend on taking? Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah,
If he's
If
healthy,
he's
that's not a
healthy,
bad
he's going
pick.
to average 25 a game.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick if he's healthy.
Who's that?
I reached on.
I'm
I
not
accidentally.
gonna lie. I was just looking at Gordon Hayward because honestly, the way he was playing before he got hurt, I kind of feel like he's gonna pick up where he left off. So I have my eyes on him.
I accidentally picked
Okay.
Jeremy Grant. I did not mean to pick Jeremy Grant because
That's a good fantasy
like when
pick.
you
I mean,
click.
that's a good fantasy pick.
23 and 7, and maybe
Because he's got to do
4.5
everything
wins.
on the Pistons other than pass now because they got Cade there. But other than that, but he'll
I
get
think
you.
I think the ball's going to run
rebounds.
through Grant regardless. K's going to be the one getting the assist in the off-ball numbers. And then it depends on how you feel about Sadiq Bey. And then as
I mean,
he's
he's
a
all
good
right.
scorer.
it's going to find out
Complimentary guy.
who's the guy on that team. Is it going to be Cade or is it going to be
It's
Grant?
probably gonna be
How'd
Grant for
how'd
now.
I know you were gonna pick him?
To be honest, probably be Grant for now.
I didn't need him. Look, if you look at my team is filled with point guards. So if you guys want to trade, take your pick. But
Yeah.
I got a lot of multi-positional
okay,
guys.
so-
I mean, that's what I'm trying to really.
yeah,
do.
no. I think I got the assists on lock. I mean, with Curry, Westbrook, and
I'm gonna-
LaMelo.
D'Angelo just went. We got Kemba,
I'm
Jonathan
gonna take a
Isaac. my
reach
pick.
here.
Rashawn Holmes is actually.
I
a
got to
really
get
good
a
pick.
big.
Jordan
I'm taking a
Clarkson.
bit of a
There's
reach,
nothing left.
but I'm taking a reach because I think he's gonna play hard because he may be a little upset this year. I think you have a chip on his shoulder
Vontae?
this year.
Hey Pete, there's you can always go Nick and go Mitchell Robb.
I'll pass. He ain't going to beat out Nerlens
He might not
Noel.
make the opening night start.
You can go. You
Yeah,
can go
he's
Brook,
not going to beat
still hurt.
Nerlens Noel out.
You can go Brooke Lopez.
He's still hurt at the moment.
I'm good. Not for fantasy.
What about Drummond?
No, you know the answer to that.
He's playing 15 minutes a game behind Embiid. They go, Embiid needs a water break. Go in for him.
That's
You
so
can, I mean, if
disrespectful.
you feel
Yeah,
like
I
one foot
mean,
risk,
is it fact or cap?
you can go the Isaiah Stewart route. I
So
mean, that's a risk.
disrespectful. I'm just gonna say it's
Joe
so
Ingles is
disrespectful.
still there.
Shit.
Shingles.
Shut up, Soto.
Shingles.
So I won't do that. I won't take him because you just said I won't do that. I won't do that to you.
Thanks.
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna take
if we say a player, you guys are just not going to call him. You're just, you guys are just not gonna...
I'm gonna take because I have my eyes on my guy. I gotta take my guy Kuz. I gotta take my guy Kuz, man. I have to. Kuz is my good luck charm on my fantasy team.
I feel like the rookie Alperen Sengun is going to do something in Houston, but I don't know that they give him minutes early enough.
Joe Wall would be a good pick, but
Matter of
they
fact,
had to trade him, and trying to trade him is going to be crazy too because his salary is what he's close to $50 million. Who's
yeah,
gonna want that?
Right.
somebody may overvalue him. I also got we got 2 more players left on the top 10 list.
Once he gets bought out, he's going right to the Clippers.
Nobody's taking Eric Bledsoe. He's going to be the starting 2 for the Clippers.
Who? I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna work. Reggie Jackson.
So they got Reggie because he's going to run the point from what they're saying, and then Bledsoe will play the 2 like he did in New Orleans.
Because I'm confused on how that's gonna work.
That's not bad. Pretty
Guys, I
going
like
double
to
point
gamble
guard
too
essentially.
much. I just took T.J. Warren.
If
not
he's
a bad
healthy,
pick. If he's
T.J.
healthy.
Warren is going to be a huge fantasy option.
Yeah, that's not
Yep.
a bad pick. I
That's
can
what I'm
agree with
thinking.
Who's
I
gonna
just
be
hope
his?
it's weeks that he's out, not months.
that. One.
Who's that?
Also, a career season for PJ Washington. The man needs to get paid.
I need another center.
I like
Where's
T.J.
the,
Washington.
Yeah, he needs some endorsements. He got to get his money up for a little while.
Yeah, I need another center.
Why is it not? Where's the Q thing? Oh, I got it. Okay.
Oh, and the last 2 players at the top 10 list were Bam Adebayo and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I got no arguments with those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I'm
put
good
Shea
with
like 8.
I mean, for me, I had Zion. I had John Zion in that spot just because of I said, the playoff experience. I wasn't talking about talent wise. I'm talking about getting your team over the hump. And Zion went low because of the, like Pete said earlier, the injury concerns and him currently. God knows how much he weighs right now, and the magical surgery that he had that nobody knows.
over 300 pounds.
Over 300 pounds.
I mean, he looked extra, like he had extra padding
chunky.
on.
Which means he's
This is fun,
280.
guys, but I'm going to have to beg out now. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the show, though.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
You too, man.
Take care.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Good night.
Later, man.
Yeah, I think
shit,
Zion with the extra weight, because you got to think. So anytime you have an injury, you're putting on weight because you're laid up. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And he's in New Orleans with that food. Like, obviously, like his genetics, you could see like he wasn't slimmed down to begin with. Even when they said, oh, he's lost 30 pounds, he was still 270. Like, so I'm just like, okay, you're 6'5.5" at 270 pounds on a good day, like in shape. Like, that's not good for your body. And the way that his game is, that aggressive hitting the floor, like your legs landing with such force. Now you got a broken foot and you already had a knee injury. Like, he broke fingers last year. Like, how many more injuries are you going to have?
Right. All right, guys. The draft is done.
And then the 3 players that they had as the just missed the cut were De'Aaron Fox, OG Anunoby, and Michael Porter Jr., who just got his max contract extension.
Which is crazy.
Well, they got paid.
I'm gonna show everybody's teams to everybody watching the stream, so everybody sees this is my team.
Boo.
Team about to finish dead last out here.
Yeah,
No, that's a nice squad.
I'm gonna.
I got a lot of.
Oh,
I always
can't
like to
do-
get a lot of like multi play. Let's go to Pete's team real quick.
I'm swapping out Mobley for PJ Washington.
Okay, got Luka
Okay.
Magic, Edwards, Porter, Williamson. You got Porzingis, Trey Young, Ja Morant, Jeremy Grant, Jalen Suggs, Keldon Johnson, Gordon Hayward, Kevin Porter Jr., and
He
PJ.
stole Keldon Johnson.
I swapped in Evan Mobley for PJ Washington, so I swapped those out.
So he's
Okay. I wanted Joe Ingles.
Oh, look,
but
here we go.
Soto
Now we
said
can
it
get-
out loud.
now
I
we
was
can
like,
get
Highway robbery.
So Keem
I'll just
got,
give it to you.
let's look at Keem's team. Keem got Dame. He got Levine, Levert. You got
A lot of
Toby,
scores.
Karl Anthony Towns, Drew. He got Dinwiddie, Bogdanovich. He
I
got
figured
Jaren
my
Jackson,
guard players, all
Wendell
guys that
Carter.
have the ball in their hand a lot.
Devontae Graham. You would fucking draft Kuzma and Brandon Clark.
Kuzma's going to look like how he looked before LeBron got to the Lakers.
Let's go to Soto's team. Ooh,
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good
he probably will.
assessment because he's going to play the 3 too. So
Yeah, you're not going to be playing the 4.
he's less of a liability as far as pounding inside. And
Yeah. And he's not just going to be a spot up 3-point shooter, which he's not good at right now.
Soto got
Right.
a pretty good team out here. He got Curry, Harden, Jalen, Draymond, Nurkic, Russell Westbrook, LaMelo, Brogdon, OG. He got
OG.
my man Jakob.
Oh, gee.
He got Kemba,
He had to
Derek
take a
White,
Spurs player.
and
Jakob, who?
Jakob
Jakob
Poeltl.
Yeah.
He,
like-
he's still in
You
the
knew he was
league.
going
Nah,
to take.
so-
He was going to.
so
he starts for the
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Spurs. Yeah.
So
I was thinking Kobe White. I mean Derek White. Excuse me. I was really thinking
And the
about that.
last
Yeah.
two teams are between Ant and Beasley here. They got pretty good teams. They got De'Aaron and Lonzo, CJ Bradley, KD and Paul George,
yeah, that
Brandon
looks like an
Ingram, Randall,
anti-team.
I just dropped Kyle Lowry for D Rose, so
Gobert and
I don't allow in the
Adebayo,
first place.
Jared Allen and Capella, Rozier, Christian Wood, Wiggins, Deep Murray, Montez Harrell, Cade Cunningham, Schroeder. I knew Ant would grab that, man. He dropped the bag. So good. Robert Williams, Tim Hardaway, Jordan
I
Clarkson,
was thinking about Robert Williams.
yeah.
It hurts too much. Like,
Steven
Exactly.
Adams.
That's why.
Kyle Lowry.
That's why I
That's
was
all
like,
it.
yeah,
Our guy, listen,
and
Robert
Marcus.
Williams is going to be the reason why the Celtics get where they have to go. Because
Yeah.
they've been missing a big man presence for years.
you got to stay on the court. He's
Yeah,
always been that.
he does, but also B's not wrong. He's a key piece, but that's why I think the Horford pickup was big because now when he is out that week, possibly 2 weeks here and there, but whatever it is, ankle soreness, knee soreness, whatever,
Yeah.
you have a vet that can actually do what he can do. And it's not like you got to rush him back. But honestly, I'd rather him not. I want to see him play a whole season so the world can actually
But let's
see
be
it.
honest.
He's
Dennis
nice
Kanter,
because he's really nice, bro.
He's a really
He's
good center.
really-
Yeah,
he really
That's
is.
what I'm saying.
But
No one
fantasy
cares about
purposes, I
Dennis
couldn't pick
Kanter.
him up because I'm like, bro, I
Kanter
don't
is
got
a
time
walking
to deal
double
with.
double though.
Anytime
That's also why I grabbed
who goes
Adams.
against them
That's
gets
why I
a
went
double-double.
Adams because I was like, I'm gonna go Adams because Adams always does that hard
Yeah,
work
Adams
in the
guy
paint,
since-
and nobody,
OKC.
exactly, and nobody, he don't need the credit, he don't care. But for something like this, where all that stuff matters, I'm like, oh, I need him. Give me him. That's why I went Schroeder too. I think he's gonna have. It's gonna be hard for him not to get assists. Look who he's passing the ball to. So it's like the assist will come. He always played defense, so it's not
Well,
like he couldn't. The
as long
points,
as he don't
whenever he gives
look
me, I'll
off,
take.
as long as he don't look off Tatum and Brown like he was looking off AD, you should be fine.
I don't think he'll be doing
Cat,
that.
it's gonna happen.
They recruited that. They recruited that man. So
As long as he don't do that.
I know my bigs are weak, but I think in terms of like rebounding, that's where like LaMelo and Westbrook come into play because as guards they're really good rebounders. So I'm not worried about my team right now.
yeah,
Not you.
I went point heavy. I have like 6 points.
yeah. For the first half of the draft, I was going point heavy until I overheard y'all say, "Wait, we're doing categories, right?" Because right
Yes,
before
8
we
categories.
started, Solo
I
told me
see.
that
Yeah, we doing
it
the
wasn't going to
categories.
be categories no more. And I kept getting emails. You kept resetting everything. So I'm like, oh, he must be right. Because one of the complaints we got was, damn, why is it categories? Why can't it just be points? So I was like, I don't know. So I thought you just reset everything and made it just points. And, you know, so when I realized that, I had to change my my strategy for the second half of my draft. But
Yeah, no,
I'll figure it out.
that's what I did too. Like, I think I
Yeah.
grabbed who was it? Westbrook as my third pick.
Yeah, I went
Yeah,
with
which
I
makes
was-
sense for
which is
categories.
so
excellent.
tight.
Yeah, had it been points, I probably wouldn't even consider Westbrook. But since we're
Yeah.
doing categories, Westbrook
Right.
is Mr. Triple Double himself. So
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm not saying
Guarantee if it was 5 categories, it'd be a different story. But for it being 8 categories, that's gonna change a little bit. So you got field goal percentage, free throw percentage, 3-point made. So it's like that's gonna be a big difference on who's playing on whose lineup every night.
yeah.
No,
No,
I agree.
I got to be honest with you. Like, I hate Jared, and I even told Jared. I even texted Jared. I was like,
Yeah,
"You
those are
piece of
fighting
shit."
words, bro.
Like, I legit.
El Pollo Loco.
I texted Jared, "You piece of shit," because I told him my strategy when I was the 8th pick. My two picks, because I had back to back, was going to be LeBron and Joel Embiid. I definitely wanted Joel Embiid, so he picked Joel Embiid. I was going to pick Joel Embiid with my second pick, and I was like,
You damned your pick
Not
out.
revealing secrets.
You can't give the top secrets away that fast.
I learned that.
I
the
got
hard
soda
way.
first week. Well, here's the thing: we have a whole month to find out. So I guarantee you, I'm putting somebody out. If one of my guys get hurt in training camp, out 2 months. I'm like, oh great.
Yeah.
if one of
I'm
my players,
hoping there's no crazy injuries in training camp, bro.
If
I'm
It
really
happens
hoping.
let's
every
hope not.
year.
absolutely,
And
but
that's
if
the
one
thing.
of my players get injured, it's on Henry.
Uh-huh.
It's on Henry because I told him
Yeah, me
wait
and
a
Solo talked
week
about this.
before the NBA.
No,
actually
not
starts.
only that, but
Yeah, you're
honestly, we could have did it Monday night before that first game Tuesday, just so that way the
It's
rosters are
all
set in
on
stone, the
Henry.
trades are set in, so everything's set. So
Yeah,
now
you're
it's
right.
like there's last minute things that always happen. Literally,
Yeah.
training camp started yesterday. I
You know
told
what
B,
you
what I
do
tell you
too.
earlier, B, I'm like, bro, they're not even scrimmaging yet.
You know what I'm saying?
They're doing
They-
walkthroughs on the
They,
plays.
they stretching. They on the
It's
bench.
good.
Just throwing
Yeah,
out.
they're not doing that yet.
I'm gonna start a
Getting
prayer
protein
circle.
So if we get a
shit in
major
the weight
injury, are we
room.
calling this draft null and void and then just
And then starting over.
grabbing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say.
I'm glad we on the
Knock
same
on
page.
wood for
Y'all
that
doing that.
now.
Y'all doing that bad juju out here. Don't be playing that
Like
shit.
I said before, fire the manager, the president, the CEO, whoever made this idea, fire him. Give him the boot.
I think it was just based on availability for everybody. That's why we did today.
Yo,
Yeah.
Jared, I'm looking at, and Jared.
You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that.
It's
Nah,
tough.
not at all.
Deadlines
Jared's
are
squad
deadlines.
is pretty tough. Soda, you're not lying. I wish you never told him your strategy. Fred VanVleet, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Sabonis, Middleton, Halliburton.
Bro, like no, that's what I
That's
said.
tough.
Like no, that's
Man,
what I
right.
said. I was like, yo, if I get the 8th pick, like leave me at the 8th pick because in my head it was LeBron and Joel Embiid back to back.
And when it comes to
I'm gonna just let it
categories,
be known now. Like I do trades during the season, but I am not getting fleeced. So don't send me some don't send me
Censor.
like Tyrese Halliburton for like a Luka Doncic because it ain't happening.
insert Henry here because again he'll put some bullshit up. Like, oh, this is a good deal. This is a good deal, man. This is a
I
big
do
deal.
like even trades, like I'm all for like if that's fair, like whatever. But I'm not getting like I don't one side people, and I don't like to get one sided.
Soda, what you want for Curry, bro?
Henry, what is he?
Domino's, you are not gonna.
Curry.
No,
Really trying to for Curry?
Yo, the fact that
crazy.
Soto started stuttering, he said,
I almost
not gonna-
considered it.
you were not gonna.
Yeah.
I almost considered it.
He was tempted for 5 seconds there.
I almost considered it.
Nah, still got a good squad.
Soda, you
Yeah,
sure,
no,
man?
my bigs were like.
Soda, you
I
sure, man?
think.
Who was so good?
What the hell?
It would have to be. Let's see.
No, one pick that I didn't see, and I probably regret was picking Draymond. I didn't see that Siakam was still on the board. That's
Yeah, I
probably
grabbed
like
him.
so that's probably like one of my regrets. But other than that, like I mean, I'm cool with my team.
Harden, Jalen, Green,
I'm surprised Ant didn't pick
Westbrook.
Jalen. He was
and
staring.
LaMelo. LaMelo's probably
He was gone right before I was able to pick him.
LaMelo's
Right
a good
before.
pick.
Same thing with Kyrie. I was looking right at Kyrie, and someone took him.
Yeah, and you know what's
He's
the
gonna
funny
play
thing is?
41 games this year.
The funny
I
thing
think
is,
it was David took Kyrie.
the funny thing is, there was
he
a
did.
moment in the draft where I needed a backup small forward, right? And I already had Barrett, RJ Barrett in the queue, and I saw who was drafting in front of me, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah. I think for the most part, we all probably picked up somebody from our team, right? I didn't look, but
No, I didn't.
you didn't. You didn't pick
From
no
our
Lakers.
respective teams, I didn't take any
I have
Sixers.
no Laker.
You
Because
didn't.
Because if I wasn't getting Embiid, I'm not taking anybody
If
else.
I wasn't
drafted
Not
Wait,
Tobias.
wait,
I thought you might have took
If
Tobias.
I could have got Tobias late, but I mean, it came down to
Yeah.
Keem got Tobias, but like, I mean, I would rather have Michael Porter Jr. personally.
All right, I got a question for you about the top 10 list. Obviously, it's quick. I guess we'll just make a quick thing. Obviously, there was honorable mentions and just missed the cut. Who do you think should have made the cut? And who would you take out from the top 10, and who would you put in from the missed the cut? If anybody, if you could take out one from the top 10 and put somebody who missed the cut, who would you put? Who would you put in?
Michael Porter Jr., OG, and yeah, that's the Mr. Cut.
If anything, probably
I would drop Jamal Murray for
De'Aaron Fox.
yeah. If you go into the honorable mentions, probably.
I was thinking Shy.
Yeah.
I think Jamal Murray is good where he's at. I think De'Aaron Fox over Shy is something I would probably consider.
I think
I would take Shy
I might
and
take-
Fox over Murray.
I'm gonna take Michael Porter Jr. over OG. I mean, excuse me, Bam.
Again,
I was
gonna
gonna say Fox and
Michael
Porter
Porter
Jr. go in.
OG.
Adebayo, and just because Murray's gonna end up, by the time February comes, by the time he plays again, he's gonna be ineligible for the list.
Mhm.
I would take out Murray, and I would take out Adebayo, and then Fox and Porter Jr. would go in.
Yeah.
I would
I
think.
like Bam, but I don't think he's better than.
He's not even the best player on his team.
He's an
so-
undersized.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Big, but
He's a talented player.
I'm gonna say this though. I think Zion was put too high on that list, and I think that
Absolutely.
if Zion,
He's right.
if he continues with his weight problems and everything else that's
Well-
going on, I honestly think if he is injury prone and stuff like that, I realistically think he could fall out that top 10. Absolutely.
I don't think the list was going on that. I think it's going on
No,
what
but
he
I'm
does
saying-
when he's on the court.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going by just talent.
Can he stay on the
And-
court? That's the question. And
But
now
when he's
with these two injuries that
Well, I
he
mean,
supposedly have, the fractured
A
foot.
foot injury like
he
that,
played
like
most of last year.
Bill
And
Walton
supposedly-
had that injury, and you see, like, obviously, totally
It
different
changed.
era, totally different. Like, it changed how he played.
Yeah.
Like, is Zion going to come back and be hesitant to come back and be as explosive? And then
Well,
we don't know what Willie Green is. He going to change up that point Zion role? Because from what I've seen, he wants Zion and BI to be interchangeable handling the ball, and then
Which is
make
fine.
it to where Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the two,
Mhm.
and then you have Devontae Graham essentially as the point guard, but it's going to be like Lonzo, where you're that off the ball kind of player.
My thing is,
I don't know if they're gonna do it,
I don't
they
know if they're
probably
going to do
won't.
it,
but I would trade Brandon Ingram as fast as I fucking can.
I said that last year.
I don't care
They're not
what
gonna-
I
they're
get
not
back
gonna
for
trade him.
him, but get him
Bro, Ingram.
off that team as soon as possible because
I
he
just
is
don't
the
like his
same
shot
player
selection.
as
Yeah,
no.
Zion, but Zion is going to be better if he stays healthy.
I just don't like
Yeah.
Ingram's shot selection, and you could tell he mopes a lot. Like, oh man, I haven't seen the ball 2 or 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and take this stupid shot selection that's forced in the mid range, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
He's the LA Fitness version of Kevin Durant.
Well, I'm
And that's
scared.
not
The
gonna
only thing
work
I'm
in the NBA.
scared about, that, like Pete said, is a big concern.
That's not going
If
to work.
Zion's over 300 pounds, is he going to lose all that weight? Is he going to lose 20 pounds?
well, I got
to get back to
blasted.
Oh, he can
because-
lose it if he. You know what I mean? It's just about going and getting in shape again.
I got
I mean, he was
blasted because I
20
called into question the front office of the Pelicans. Like, they're a mess. Like, how do you not disclose the injury? And then people came at me like, oh, the Sixers guy is going to talk about a front office. And I'm like, the fuck out of here. Like, I know my franchise is terrible as well.
The only reason they're getting
Like,
it to you is
Shout
because
out to the local hero in my town, Elton Brand.
they're mad because somebody called out David Griffin.
Shout out
for
to my
being
guy.
a fucking idiot. That's why.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
David Griffin, like I said, he's just a media guy, and you know this. And most
he's
of us
good
know-
with the media, yeah, but he's not a
Oh,
good
hold on.
decision maker.
He's not a
Oh,
good.
Henry,
He's not a good
are you
decision
taking the suppressor off right now? Do I need to warn?
I mean, I can't. No.
Because you have to look at what do the Pelicans have besides Ingram, who's an inefficient scorer, and Zion at his best. What do they have? What do you have going down that roster that you could say is a
Well,
legit
they don't-
concern?
They don't play Hayes enough for you to really see what he can turn himself into,
Correct.
because he plays basically spot minutes. Nikhil
Right.
Alexander is not a point guard; he's a combo guard.
Yeah,
but if he doesn't have the ball,
And he's
in
not
his
efficient.
hand, he doesn't
Yeah,
have
and
the ball in his hand,
and
he's
that's what
playing
David
off
Griffin.
ball.
That's what
then
David
he's-
Griffin wants to be the starting point guard.
I don't know how it's going to work, because like if he plays with the ball not in his hand and you let Ingram play in his hand, then you're basically turning him into a spot up shooter, late clock scorer. But you kind of do that already with Ingram and Zion.
He's
So-
better as a 6-man gunner coming off the
Yeah.
bench. Let
Shout
him
out to
fill
Josh
it up.
Hart.
Yeah,
Hey,
Josh
Josh
Hart
Hart.
is multi-positional
They signed him too. Right?
defender.
Really
He's
got, I wish he got
he's
paid
their-
more,
He's
but
their 3-and-D guy, but
Right.
you got a ball stopper in Ingram. So
Right. Correct.
how does
But
he
here's the thing,
3-and-D like that?
like even with inefficiency, like he averaged what 24, 5 and 5, but he shot.
Who else is
46
scoring for that team?
47 from
who
the
else?
field, 38 from 3, and he shot 51% with twos. So, like, do you consider that inefficient,
Like
or is it how many
It's-
buckets late in the game? Because at
It's
least
kinda-
he can
It's when
shoot,
it's
where Zion still
decision making
can't
when
shoot.
it matters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
you
thing
can-
is,
Because
you could
you
average
could
all
look
those
at
buckets.
all right, you picked your spot. Zion's not going to touch the ball for 3 or 4 possessions. That's going to
Yeah.
be BI. All right, go get your buckets. Like, that's great. But when it's down to 2 minutes left in the game and you're turning around fadeaway jumper that clanks off the rim, and you could have made a
20 feet
play
from the right
and let
rim?
Zion. Yeah, you could have let
and that's what the problem is.
Lonzo make a play, or even give it to Zion and let him bully ball
So,
his way
Yeah.
through.
hey Pete,
Right.
would it be accurate to say that I guess Brandon Ingram BI is sort of like Colin Sexton when it comes to just wanting to get his own and just get his shots up?
No, I don't think that bad. Because I
But
think
it's-
he
it's
has a
almost-
higher level IQ.
It's almost there though. With the
Ingram is
when it comes to
a
shooting.
bona fide second
He's
player, second guy
Mhm.
that has the first player mentality in his mind.
He is
Okay.
a bona fide Zion's Robin. Actually, for most
He-
stars league, he's a good.
But he won't
he's
accept that
breakthrough.
though.
The problem-
His ego
Yeah.
is not going to accept that.
his play
I hear
style is like DeMar DeRozan, but he's not
Correct.
as
Perfect.
selective as DeMar DeRozan. Like DeMar DeRozan could work with
Mhm.
basically almost any point guard in the NBA because
Right.
he's just going to get to his spot, and if he don't have a good shot, he's going to move the ball. Ingram sometimes, if he's in a rhythm, chances are that pass is not coming back out. He'll take
The
that
black hole,
over two people and live with their results.
Yeah, correct.
and then on
So
that
he's got a
Colin Sexton
scorer's
note,
mindset. I think he works on a team where you don't have another budding star alongside him like that.
Right.
Because of
He's
the
got to be
age
the
gap,
guy that
yeah.
you build around. And
Because
then that
age
team's
gap
going to
between
be
him and Zion is tough.
And that team's going to be like the Kyrie Cavs before LeBron came back. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, you're that scorer, but you did nothing else to help the team. Like,
trying to be on Raiders.
because look at the Pelicans, though. They're in a weird situation because if you lose Zion, you're done. If you lose or trade Ingram for scraps, you're not getting a player that's coming to free agency. That was known this year. Lowry wanted nothing to do with New Orleans. And that's who you were going to go all in
Even
on.
when he was a Stan Van Gundy guy, and that's the crazy
Yeah.
part.
Like, and at the end of the day, you bring in Willie Green with signals. Okay, you brought in a very, very good player relationship coach, but he doesn't have the experience of the X's and O's as a league guy. That tells me you're teetering in between. Like, if this doesn't work this year, we're going to have to make some bona fide moves to kind of retool this franchise to keep Zion. We've got to do whatever we can to keep Zion. Like you go and get Valanciunas that can stretch the floor, yes, but he's not primarily a stretch the floor guy. Like there's nothing on this team that they retooled with that's better than what they had last year, except that they got rid of Eric Bledsoe's fit and Steven Adams is fit. But there's no upgrades like across the roster because I don't feel that Devontae Graham's an upgrade over Lonzo and what he could do in the passing situations. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is not a bona fide starting shooting guard or point guard. He's more of a gunner off the bench. Like, so you didn't get better. So how are you going to get into even in the play-in consistently and say, okay, we can surpass that and get the top 6, seed so we don't have to play in the play-in. It's not going to happen. You're not beating out Golden State. You're not even beating out Memphis. I would take John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dylan Brooks and that cast over anybody on the Pelicans except for Lonzo.
That fits better. That 3 fits better
Right.
than the 2 of Ingram and Zion at the present moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to mention, all Zion wanted this year was to keep Lonzo. He didn't care about nothing else. Keep Lonzo, keep everybody. And
Well, that's half his points of Lonzo's passes last year.
Right,
That's
correct.
key. So,
Yeah,
And Devontae Graham's not a passer.
He's
He can pass, but he's not a pass first guy. He's
a Chuck.
he's a
We gonna
three-point
see.
shooter.
which is why the Charlotte made that decision to swap out and go with LaMelo and Terry Rozier rather than stay with the Graham and Rozier combination.
That's
shout out
crazy.
to Terry
'Cause
Rozier, by the way. He fried Eric Bledsoe, and now he gets a big ass contract. Shout out to that man.
I mean, Rozier looked good as far as shooting the 3 and comfortable as far as like the third option. So I mean that's fair enough, like for what he got. But they had to make a deal to get LaMelo as a starting guy. You can't
Point
have
guard,
LaMelo's talent and say, "All right, you're going to be the 6th man coming off the bench for the entire." Like
Yeah.
that, James Abrego would have been fired like before the season
Shout-
even
shout
ended
out
if
to,
he would have stuck with that.
And
His
that,
Jordan.
sports and
that Kelly
Jordan.
Oubre pickup is
Shout
going
out
to
to,
be really good for them.
That's
Michael Jordan
good.
for getting the center that he got again. Michael Jordan.
Oh, Plumlee.
Yeah.
It's passable
that-
for now. They need a legitimate center. They
Yeah.
need someone
Plumlee's an
legit.
upgrade over Zeller because Plumlee can pass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's a little bit more mobile defender.
But I think they go smaller over the course of the game because you're going to have PJ Washington who can play the 5,
He can
and then
play
you
5,
bring
yeah.
in Bridges, who's got a good connection with Ball at the 4. Like they can play small that way,
think-
and then Oubre can come in and mix it up at the 2, 3, and even a little bit of 4.
And he's an insurance policy for
I think the
Hayward's health.
Pelicans are in turmoil right now. I think that they got a lot going on.
Pelicans took a step back.
I think
in my
think
opinion.
that yeah, they did. And I think that a lot of it stuff from Zion, according to what I've read and things I've heard seen on social media and everything else. If like people that have talked with them and stuff like that, I've seen that a lot of people don't really like the owner of the Pelicans or David Griffin, that he refuses to sort
No
of
one likes the owners. of
Yeah,
the-
but
of the
Gail
team.
Benson, as far as the ownership,
Well, I
like
can't even say
she-
ownership because they're gonna chastise people for that. Now they call it managing partners or whatever.
she's the more of like
Governor.
her husband was with the all right, well, we're into the Spurs, like the Pelicans are here, we want to build them up, but they're the second tier of like, all right, well, we're focusing on the Saints, kind of what we have there.
Yeah.
The Pelicans aren't better than the Spurs.
No,
Like they're not better than Memphis.
not better than Golden State.
You're not better than Golden State. Like,
I really
so
think-
who
I don't
are
even
you
think they're better.
leapfrogging?
They're not better than Sacramento either.
Why
That's,
teams are better Sacramento?
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
Sacramento-
debatable.
No, Sacramento. Think about it. They improved.
How?
Mm.
They got Davion Mitchell. Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Well,
You say that.
They didn't do
I
anything
mean,
else.
Jared would have loved that sentence, but I
Well,
think that's the only person I can think of
supposedly
that would
they're
love
still
that
gonna trade-
sentence.
they still have.
I mean,
trade up for Buddy.
So
So you got
keep
Bagley who underperformed.
As
You
a
got
matter of
Harrison
fact,
Barnes.
he just texted me right now.
They're gonna-
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna have-
ask him of his opinion.
They're gonna have
Harrison
a trade.
Barnes should have been traded. You got Rashawn Holmes,
They
who's
signed
decent.
Harrison They signed Barnes.
He's-
though.
he's
I
a
know,
good
but he
center.
should have
He
been
got
He
paid.
should have been traded.
I said Barnes should have been traded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
but-
Halliburton. Halliburton should be starting, but now you got Buddy Hield there, who's
They
taking
were
up.
trying to trade Bradley.
Yeah, I mean they
So
were
Buddy-
begging to get him out.
So wasn't Barnes from the previous regime resigned? It wasn't the current regime. That was the previous.
Talking about Vladdy.
Yes.
He got the
Right.
extension with Vladdy. Yes.
Yeah. So
Him
that
and Buddy Hield,
obviously.
yeah.
yeah.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. So I got Jared on the line, right? Henry said something about the Kings. They said that they improved this offseason.
What?
He said that the Kings improved this offseason.
They drafted better and everything like that. They got a better new regime now.
What happened?
Because Vladdy was terrible.
All right. Well, I mean, listen.
The best move they did was get rid of Vladdy.
No, the best move they did was, in the draft.
So you can't. The
drafted
two
Mitchell, too.
players
That's
that
good,
you were like that are begging to get out of town, and Hield and Bagley, you couldn't even trade. Nobody
They
nobody
almost
wants.
traded.
No, they
Hield.
did almost trade Hield.
They almost did.
Almost.
Bagley was gonna be a warrior for like 2 second-round
Hield
picks.
almost went to the Lakers, and then
You might as well keep him.
Bagley.
Yeah,
I heard they're going to move
He's-
Bagley back to the 4.
He would have
and
been in the
put
Simmons
Holmes-
deal if
put
the
Holmes at the
76ers
5.
were entertaining that deal.
that's just the Kings aren't making the playoffs. De'Aaron
Yeah.
Fox just go ahead and demand a trade and get on out of
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another star that's probably gonna.
Well,
Leave
De'Aaron
Sacramento.
Fox and Halliburton are basically untouchable in trades, they said. So
Yeah, but if he says goes to management and says I don't want to be here, like get me out of here.
Get the hell out of
You know,
Dodge.
They can get really good value for Fox.
they could, especially
get a
since
good
he's-
return.
I agree.
He's a top 10 point guard.
Now I would do if you were going to throw a bunch of picks in there, I would take De'Aaron Fox for Ben Simmons every day, all day. You can give me De'Aaron Fox as a point guard defensively, and then like his burst of speed getting in the
You may have
lane.
gotten him. You almost did get him. You were close to. If y'all would have been willing to take De'Aaron Fox or Bagley, you probably would have got. Excuse me, Bagley, but he healed.
Yes, I don't know that I want Buddy Hield though. I
'Cause
just
that's
don't
the-
want that contract.
Yeah,
Yeah, the contract, yeah.
because they're trying to. If they're going to trade De'Aaron Fox, and they're trying to.
But do you think Buddy
one or the
Hield
other.
could have filled the role like a JJ Redick did?
Hell no.
In
He
terms
not
of,
doesn't
that
have
type
the
of shooter.
basketball IQ.
in terms of shooting, I'm not talking
He's
about.
not that type of shooter.
Jay
Buddy is
Redick.
a streak shooter.
Yeah, but why
Right.
does here's my thing. Here's the bad thing they do with Buddy Hield. Here's the thing I hate. They compare Buddy Hield to Steph Curry every year, and it's annoying. They're like, oh yeah, he's
It's not even close.
won 3
Because-
every season or whatever. He has more faster 3-pointers than Curry.
Yeah, that's why. Because
And I'm
he hits
just like-
1,000 points faster. Than
and I'm just
Curry
like,
did.
he's nowhere near. Curry.
I mean, that's great. You're on a sucky team that couldn't score, like versus Steph Curry that had major injuries the first couple years, like to his ankles, to where like people didn't even know that if he was going to play 100% again for the rest of his career.
Yeah, it's great. But
Like-
see what I'm saying? That stigma, they throw it out there like, oh yeah, he's did this, he's did that, and he's more like, I'm not trying to say he's like JJ Redick because JJ Redick was a sniper, but I'm saying could he fill a role that like a JJ Redick had
No.
with the team?
Because the IQ's not there, and then JJ, the way that he could slip off of screens and
Yes.
just the catch game, like it's going to take one time for Buddy Hield to chuck up a bad shot, and Embiid's going to give him a look like, who the hell is
Buddy
this
Hield's
dude?
a scorer, not a shooter.
wasn't that his knock in college anyway? His basketball IQ, Buddy Hield, if I'm not
He's a
mistaken.
scorer. So
When he came out the draft, they said his basketball IQ was poor when he came out the draft. So I mean, for him not to
I
improve on
don't-
his IQ,
I think it was more shot selection than
Shots, yeah, it's
necessarily
not
IQ.
that's
He's
more,
a-
yeah.
he's
But
a-
that's an IQ part too. If you think about
he's
it,
a
'cause you gotta-
scorer. That's
you gotta
what it
figure out.
is. Scorers
Right.
are going to take shots. That's what he does. He's a
Right.
volume scorer.
Volume scorer, right? That's the difference. Like JJ filled a role of, okay, this is what we need. We need you to shoot 7-8 times a game. You're efficient enough that you know how to get to your spots, and you're going to run guys all game.
Mhm.
Where Buddy Hield stands a lot. He doesn't
Right.
constantly move.
Right.
Unless it's a play for him
right.
to get the ball.
Correct. And like if you're looking at, like I said, if you're looking at the Western Conference, like it's kind of easier to me, in my opinion, to predict the Western Conference, the top 8, than it is the Eastern Conference. Because the Eastern Conference is pretty much wide open all the way down to like 12. Because you could see a team like Philly faltering because of the chemistry, and they drop down to 6-7 in the East, and then a team like Boston climbs up, or Atlanta, New York climbs up. Like, you know, it's easy to see. I think like the only team you could really say that took a 100% step back that was contending last year, or kind of contending, Toronto, because they lost Lowry. And so that's a big piece to kind of say, all right, well, we're going to reset this way, even though they got Dragic. Like, who knows how long he's going to be there? And now you're saying Van Fleet and Siakam are your lead too. Like
Van Fleet, Siakam, OG.
And Siakam's hurt for the first month and a half of the season.
But been heavy on OG and Boucher.
Right.
On there.
You
But
draft
that's
Scotty Barnes, who's kind of like a Swiss Army knife that
Yeah,
doesn't really do
that's-
anything great, but does a lot of things okay.
When it comes
Like-
to fantasy, that's a good pickup because it's gonna be points,
Mhm.
rebounds, and defense.
Right.
Does he get on the floor? A lot of the guys that
He'll
especially
get
guys
on the
that-
floor because
He'll probably
Siakam's
start
out.
at the 4 because there's no Siakam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it
And
depends. It all depends on how the rotation
Now-
will be.
now you got the wrench of like Indiana. TJ Warren was already out. Karis LeVert's hurt. Who knows if he misses any time and how much that lingers. Like, you got to look at the fit of Sabonis and Turner with a new coach. Like, how is that gonna work? You know, you got Chicago that obviously improved. Like, so it's gonna be tough for the East. Like, Charlotte improved. Like, that's gonna be a real battle between 4 and 10 in the Eastern Conference. Like, as far as where teams fall.
Gotcha.
Pete, you made a good point before. Well, interesting point. I won't say good point. I want to hear it out. You said Zach LaVine was better than Devin Booker.
Mhm.
Or you say you don't feel or think that.
I don't
Booker-
think that. I think they're right along the same level. I think
Okay.
that Devin Booker just gets a little bit more because now that Chris Paul kind of helped push them and elevate the entire team.
Mhm.
But I think as far as the scoring prowess and things like that, like Levine can do the same things that Booker can.
Mhm.
I think that just the surrounding core of the team helped Booker more.
Right.
You know, in my opinion, we'll see what happens now if
This
Levine
year.
falters this year.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Like,
that.
then I eat my words
Mhm.
because Levine has every chance in the world with Lonzo, DeRozan,
Vucevic.
Vucevic on the team. Like, there's no excuse that they should not be at least at
A decent
minimum in the
coach.
play-in,
A good coach,
if not, you know, top 6.
Right.
Oh,
That's fair. I was like, yeah, Levine over Booker. I'm like, that was interesting.
I wouldn't necessarily. I would put them around equal. I wouldn't say one is necessarily better than the other one, but
Yeah.
like equal footing.
Okay.
well,
That's a fair take.
what we have done is raise some good topic matter for our next episode, because next week we're rolling into the preseason start, so then we can start getting into, you know, break it down the best
Nick
of the
Nation,
best
baby.
of the NBA. The Knicks are new and improved.
Nation, baby. I'll be
Or
around.
The Knicks,
Nick
the,
Nation,
Knicks
baby.
may, the Knicks may find themselves in some top 15, top 20 list.
Top 15. Top 15. Make the playoffs. That's all I care about.
Overrated.
Oh,
Already.
man.
No, listen.
Oh,
good luck
man.
with Ben Simmons. That's all I
Oh,
gotta say.
man.
Hey, I'm not gonna say the Sixers are finishing top 5 either. So I'm not gonna throw shade and not take.
As long as we
that,
over
'cause-
you guys, I'm cool with that.
The Knicks could probably. The Knicks.
No,
could
you
finish top-
guys ain't finishing over the Sixers. I'll say I pretty much say the Knicks are gonna drop back just a little bit, but they're not gonna fall off. Let's say that.
I see
Okay.
the Knicks are like 6.
Yeah,
or
right.
7.
Because I think you could put the Knicks about 6 because I think Boston elevates up, Miami elevates up. So I think those two kind of. I think the Hawks take a small step back because if you look in the injuries, they've got Hunter injured, you've got Bogdanovich coming off an injury. You know, you got Cam Reddish itching for playing time. But if he gets
They don't know where
disgruntled,
to
he's
play
not
him. That's
playing.
that's the sad part because he's talented. He has no.
There's so
fit
many
right
people
now.
at his positions. That's why his position.
Okongwu's
is
hurt, so you got no backup big that's consistent. Like, so the Hawks, I mean, if Trae Young gets off to a slow start, like, that's going to be
Which
tough.
he did this year.
Yeah, like, so I could see the Hawks kind of taking just a small step back too. Like,
Unless they package
that's what I'm
so many
saying.
role players for a star.
so many of these teams got better in the East. You know, it's going to be like a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Soundview's finest is back home, baby. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, man.
80% of what he was last year, and we good to go. 75%. I'll take that. We good to go.
Talking about money making Mitch, I'm assuming.
Well, if Mitch plays like 60 games, we're even better shape. I'm talking about Kemba.
He better worry
Yeah,
about beating
yeah,
out
I
Nerlens
know,
Noel
I
first.
know he's talking about Kemba. I know.
Soundview.
I know he's talking about Kemba.
By the way,
Yeah.
Evan Fournier had his first trip in New York City on the subway. He looked scared to death. That was too funny.
They're not used to that.
You better hope he's not scared to death to shoot the ball.
He better. That's the reason why the Boston
He
deal
shoots.
everything to get him and then
He
not
shoots.
sign with them.
He played well when he was on the court with Boston.
I worry about those Tibbs minutes with Kemba's knee and
25
He likes,
minutes for Kemba,
his backup
25
is Derrick
minutes for
Rose
D-Rose.
quickly.
Be
So
all right.
he should be fine. Tibbs is a Rose guy, so he's gonna find minutes for Rose. So we know that already.
Shout out to IQ, RJ. We'll be all right. As long as we stay in that same range, we don't falter back. But now it's, how many games? It was 72 last year, so 10 more games. Stay in that, 10 games over, 12 games over 500 in the playoffs, and we'll be good to go. I don't see we're now in the playing game. Like, damn, like, granted, it's not really falling out. You're still in the playoffs, but you were a top 5 defense and a top 15 offense, and then you just fell off the map in the playoffs. So figure it out. You maintain a lot of defense, but you got better offensively. So now there's no excuse. You set the precedent. So now you gotta make it work.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Julius Randle, baby. RJ, yeah. OB 914. He's 20 minutes from the crib. Shout out to Ossining.
I knew somebody. I didn't know if it was gonna be Henry or B that was gonna have that Nick moment. I knew one of y'all was gonna have it. Y'all both got the Nick gear on from head to toe.
I'm in my rare moment here.
I still say Knicks are going to finish behind Boston and Philly. That's my prediction.
All right. Hopefully, but for your sake of Philly, hopefully.
Man, if Philly drops to like 7 or 8, I'm just going to be sad.
Well, if Ben Simmons says he's going to hold out as long as he can, so I don't think Ben Simmons NFL, there's no fines for sitting out.
At that point, Tyrese Maxey better be the real deal.
I think he will. I think y'all will be able to tread water if y'all have to go with him until y'all find a trade for Ben Simmons. I think because he's going to shoot, we know that much. So
yeah.
He played well when he played in the playoffs,
but you better hope that Joel Embiid stays healthy. That's first and foremost. Because if it's Andre Drummond show, you saw what happened to Andre Drummond.
I forgot about that.
Man, you saw firsthand what happened with Drummond last year.
He's there when Embiid.
I gotta say that. I gotta say
it's a turnstile. You might as well just go ahead and give the other team a good 25 points in the paint right off the bat.
I will save the Andre Drummond troll for a later day. I won't do it today. I'll save it for a later day.
Yeah,
but,
fair enough.
But that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Like always, thanks for watching. If you joined late, you catch the audio version of our podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And like always, we out.